48 hours behind enemy lines. Iranian civilians armed and hunting. A $60,000 bounty on an American airman's head. Iranian state television telling locals to shoot on sight. And U.S. Special Forces racing against every one of those variables simultaneously, deep inside hostile territory in mountainous southwestern Iran, with 2 Black Hawk helicopters already taking small arms fire from men who jumped out of cars with automatic rifles the moment American aircraft appeared overhead. This is not a story about a downed fighter jet. This is a story about what America does when its people are in danger, and about a rescue operation that exposed something far more significant than any single aircraft loss. Here is the complete, verified picture. On April 3rd, an F-15E Strike Eagle carrying 2 crew members was shot down by Iranian forces over southwestern Iran. The first time during Operation Epic Fury that a manned U.S. aircraft was brought down by enemy fire. The aircraft, believed to be based out of Royal Air Force Lakenheath in the United Kingdom, went down in a mountainous rural region that would become the site of one of the most dramatic search and rescue operations American forces have attempted in decades. Both crew members ejected safely after being struck by Iranian fire. U.S. Special Forces located one of the crew members and rescued him alive on Iranian territory. The rescue helicopter that extracted the first crew member was immediately hit by small arms fire on the way out. 2 U.S. military Black Hawk helicopters involved in the search and rescue effort were struck by Iranian fire, with crew members wounded, though the helicopters remained flyable and landed safely. That detail, rescue helicopters taking fire while extracting a downed pilot, strips away every comfortable abstraction from what this mission actually required. These were not aircraft operating from safe distance. They were flying low and slow over hostile terrain in daylight into an environment where Iranian state television was actively broadcasting instructions telling civilians to shoot at American aircraft and offering cash rewards for the capture of American crew members alive. Video verified by NBC News showed 3 men in white shirts and black pants jumping out of a car beside a field in southwestern Iran and opening fire with what appeared to be automatic rifles at a low-flying American helicopter as it passed overhead. A second helicopter appeared, and the men continued firing. The person filming narrated as they shot. An American helicopter, and this is the military force. Shoot, shoot. That video, circulating globally within hours of the rescue operation, is the clearest possible illustration of what American airmen and special forces were operating inside. Not a conventional military engagement with uniformed combatants on defined front lines. A hostile civilian population, armed and motivated by financial reward, in terrain that made every approach to the rescue site a gauntlet. Special Forces veteran Brian Stern, founder of a company specializing in rescuing people from conflict zones, told CNN the mission was very dangerous and complex, not like television. Getting aircraft in is very dangerous, he said, noting that the video of police firing at helicopters represented only a fraction of the encounters that likely occurred during the operation. Simultaneously, while the rescue for the first crew member was still underway, an A-10 Thunderbolt Warthog aircraft was struck by Iranian fire during the search and rescue operation. The single pilot made it to Kuwaiti airspace where he ejected safely. The aircraft crashed and was destroyed. In a single operational sequence on April 3rd, America lost an F-15E Strike Eagle to Iranian air defenses, lost an A-10 Warthog during the rescue effort, had 2 Black Hawks hit by ground fire, and still, against all of that resistance, got 1 crew member out alive. The second crew member remains missing. The missing weapons systems officer had been on the run for a day and a half behind enemy lines, a very long time when being actively pursued in mountains with limited communications and possible injuries. Iranian local officials and regional IRGC leadership denied reports that the second crew member had been captured or detained, while Iran's semi-official Mehr news agency circulated a statement calling American claims of a successful rescue a tactic of the enemy. The search entered its second day with the outcome still unresolved. Now understand what this sequence reveals about the broader strategic picture. because it contradicts the official narrative at the highest level. Less than 48 hours before the F-15E was shot down, President Trump told Americans the U.S. military had beaten and completely decimated Iran. In his primetime address, he stated Iran had no anti-aircraft equipment, that their radar was 100% annihilated, and that America was unstoppable as a military force. The shootdown of the F-15E came despite repeated claims from Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and other officials that the U.S. had achieved dominance of the Iranian skies. The gap between that rhetoric and this operational reality is not a minor discrepancy. It is the central strategic question of this entire campaign. Iran's conventional military has been devastated. Its navy is gone, its air force is largely destroyed. Its missile production has been reduced to zero. All of that is verified. All of that is real. And yet, on the same day that America's most senior leadership was claiming total air supremacy, Iranian air defense systems shot down an F-15E, struck an A-10, and put small arms fire into two Blackhawks conducting a rescue operation in broad daylight. Trump, when asked Friday whether the downing of the jet would negatively affect negotiations to end the war, responded simply, "No, not at all. No, it's war." That answer, 3 words, is the most honest thing said publicly about this conflict in weeks. War produces outcomes that contradict the narratives built around it. Aircraft get shot down. Pilots end up behind enemy lines. Rescue helicopters take fire from civilians in open fields. These are not failures of strategy. They are the permanent and irreducible reality of armed conflict at scale. On Saturday, Trump posted on Truth Social, reminding Iran of the looming deadline. Time is running out. 48 hours before all hell will rain down on them. The April 6th deadline for Iran to open the Strait of Hormuz, or face strikes on power plants, now sits alongside an active search for a missing American weapons systems officer somewhere in the mountains of southwestern Iran. Those two simultaneous realities, maximum diplomatic pressure and maximum personal stakes, define exactly where this war stands today. Iran's military vowed to regain full control over the country's skies, framing the downing of the aircraft as a humiliating moment for the United States. Iran's Foreign Minister Arakchi referenced the targeting of the Bushehr nuclear power plant perimeter in separate statements, a strike that killed 1 person and prompted the evacuation of nearly 200 Russian nuclear staff from the facility. The rescue of the first crew member was a genuine operational achievement. Special forces, under fire, in hostile territory, getting an American airman out alive. The second crew member's fate remains the most pressing human question in this entire conflict as of this hour. The shoot-down of the F-15E marks the first time during Operation Epic Fury that a manned U.S. aircraft has been brought down by enemy fire, and the first time a U.S. fighter jet has been downed in combat in over 2 decades. That historical marker sits alongside the April 6th deadline, the ongoing search for a missing weapons systems officer, the Bushehr nuclear plant strike, and Trump's warning that all hell will rain down if Iran does not comply. The war that official statements describe as nearing completion is simultaneously producing its most dramatic and most dangerous operational moments yet. If this gave you the complete verified picture of what actually happened during this rescue operation, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit the notification bell immediately. Share this video with someone who needs to understand what this war actually looks like beyond the press releases and primetime addresses. Because the most important story right now is not what happened to the aircraft. It is what is still happening to the crew member who has not yet come home.